Welcome to Postgame on the Pitch. I'm Osvita Mara of CascadiaSports.net. I'm Brandon Brown of Eli Sports. Where you been, bro?
Busy, running around, doing stuff. Different sports picking up. Basketball season coming up. Football season coming to end. So, staying busy.
Well, whatever. Well, let's talk soccer while you talking about being busy.
Yeah.
All right. Sounders take a 2-1 loss to Sporting KC.
Yep.
And take me through this one.
It was tough from the start. Gave up a goal in the 4th minute, but it was a mental lapse, so it wasn't necessarily the worst thing. And Coach Spencer talked about it. Switched up tactics a little bit, started easing back in the game, and controlled it for the most part between that goal, halftime. As Spencer said, made more adjustments, and then came out, got the equalizer, and you start to feel a little bit better. But then some incidents happen, and once again you get a mental lapse. You get another counter. Russell with a 6th goal against us. For some reason does not like the Rave Green. Get the win on the road, so we'll break down the most of it, but that was a skeleton, and it was just 2 mental lapses is really what caused us to drop points.
Are you concerned because this was the Wild West showdown between number 1 in the West, number 2, and you get 2 mental breakdown, and you should win this game going into the money time of the MLS season, as Brian Smetcher said.
It's a little concerning because you had a chance to stiff arm it a little bit, Sporting Kansas City down in 2nd. You had 6 points on them. They had a game in hand, so essentially, meaning that if they won the next game, they would be only 3 behind, this and that. But now that they've drawn 3 closer, that game in hand, they could tie us for that top spot, and then it's a race in the final 3 games to see who gets the top. So it is concerning. This is a spot where you're used to the Sounders putting away teams and making sure they're focused in the later half of the season, especially at the tail end when you try to get a home field advantage. It's concerning. Mental lapses happen. I will say that it's not, I can't keep saying it's not the A team, but there's pieces missing, so you can continue to give them a little bit of a leeway, but these are all professionals that I think should have put this game away.
Yeah, because how much leeway do you give? Because if we take that, we heard from 3 people. Brian Smetzer, obviously the coach, Kellen Rowe, and then Christian Rodan. And just real quickly, I'm going to say what they thought about the game, and I'd love to hear what you said. So Kellen Rowe kind of played it off like, you know what, we'll look at the film, we'll break it down, we'll make some tweaks. And Brian Smetzer was a little bit of both, but he said we cannot have mental breakdowns. And Christian Rodan was a little bit more in terms of that we can't have this. So, I mean, I just asked were they concerned, but do you just bypass this game because you got a big game on Tuesday?
You have to bypass it, but I think as fans and I think the coaches know that they're not going to bypass it because there's things that need to be tweaked as the press continues to go on towards MLS, or not get ahead of ourselves, towards the playoffs. So let's just say the playoffs. There's things that need to be fixed, and Christian said it clearly, and the home form has been an issue all season. So, I mean, and it continues to rear its head. It's the 2nd time you lost at home to Sporting Kansas City, the team right behind you. Yeah, you went down to Kansas City and won, but this should be your fortress, and they're continuing to have mental lapses. A team that's, as we said, a cohesive unit most days, just had too many mental issues this late in the season.
Let's go inside. Let's go a little bit deeper inside. Kellen Rowe talked about, and they switched with Diamond.
Yep.
Right. Kellen Rowe said that we controlled most of the midfield during the game.
Yep.
So where were the mental lapses?
Well, it was the first one or the second one? I'll say with that one, because we know about the 4th one is just getting caught early in the match and get an opportunity. But it's that quick counter that they got, and Russell, who's been so clinical as we said against us, and then I believe it was Nuhu on that side that got caught out of position, which allowed for Russell to score the goal. So I know, but it's just Nuhu possibly was Defender of the Year, and it's Swift, Jimmy Madrano and other people have been considered now, but Nuhu, you don't see that from him, and that's something that it's not going to happen every game. So that's the mental issues we're talking about.
Time out. I'm throwing a flag on this one. I had 2 things. You're saying it was Nuhu's fault.
No. I didn't say it was his fault.
Okay.
I said he got caught out of position, which allowed for the finishing of the goal. Not the counter itself was not all on him. I'm just saying he was caught out of position that one play. If they didn't allow the counter, he wouldn't have been caught out of position. I mean, it's a domino effect, so I'm not putting the entire goal on him.
Nicely said, because it was a build-up to the middle, and then, like you said, while they were building up, they knew who was indecisive in what to do, and then the overrun. Well said in terms of that. I would also add that what's not happening is just finishing. Now, I get it, Christian Rodan hit the post, but there's also some other simple lay the ball off inside the box, take a simple shot. That's not happening on offense.
Yeah, there was a few times, and Christian, who had, I think, an up and down game, and he admitted it in the post game. There was several times where he tried to cross the ball right outside the box, and it just didn't have the pace on it. Or, there's this second guessing where, when you have a guy like Raul who's more clinical, he's looking at goal. I think when you don't have that true number 9 up top, you overthink sometimes as a player that's not used to scoring the goals. And Christian got in kind of a groove there, coming out of the last international break, and he was scoring goals left and right. But now it's starting to feel like someone needs to shoot the ball and try to finish rather than trying to find the next best shot, which sometimes, or most of the times in this game, was intercepted and the chance was gone.
Ominous question out there, because Jada Evans, our buddy from the Seattle Times, she did ask, and Brian tongue-in-cheek, about when is Raul coming back.
Yeah.
And Smetzer said, I'm going to get the app and make sure, and
flight tracker,
flight tracker, which means he's coming back. But I go back on a serious note. He's got a hamstring.
Yep.
The thing about hamstring is we all know that they can linger, and he's the kind of player that needs to push off inside the box. That's his game. Are you concerned, or you're not a doctor?
Yeah, I'm concerned. Yeah, I'm not a doctor in any way, but as being someone who grew up with sports, hamstring is it's one of those that is not a serious injury, but as you said, it lingers, and if it just notches, if you're instead of 100%, you're 90%, well, that's big. That's big, especially in soccer. And being able, as you said, pushing off, it's a big thing. And like I said, I'm not a medical professional, but hamstrings concern me. The one thing I will say that there are players returning, Morris and other players that are coming back, but we can't bank on them coming back because it takes a second to get into game speed, as we saw. So people talking about Morris coming back, I believe, for the Galaxy match was what they said, or LAFC. I can't quite remember what match they said. LA. That Jordan would be back, and I think a lot of fans are banking on these guys helping push them over the top. But you got to understand that Jordan's been out for over a year, close to a year. So you got to understand that the players that are currently available need to be the ones that push until those others work in.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of someday, hopefully, what if stuff that could, you don't want to bang on that as well. But I think the quality, so if we move forward, so that's it. Sounders lose 2-1. And last take, you're not concerned? You're okay? The house isn't burning?
Concerned, yes. Overly concerned, no. I know it's a little vague, but I think if they can go down and handle business against LAFC on the road, the next match, come back home, it kind of rights the ship a little bit. It also depends on what Sporting Kansas City does in their next match. To either they're going to draw level at the top of the West, or they're going to stay those 3 points behind, or 2 points behind if they get a draw. I think it all depends on those next matches for both clubs, but concerned with some holes, but not, everything's burning down by any means.
All right, and I won't take my the sky is falling. I think they'll be all right. What they have to do is get some integral passing in the midfield and get that correct. I think they'll be fine. So he's Brandon Brown of Eli Sports, and you can see him in high school, college, basketball. He's everywhere. He's a man about town. He got 7 jobs, man. And I am Osvita Mara for Cascadia Sports. Thanks a lot for doing this.
As always.
Thank you all for listening. And CascadiaSports.net. Post game on the pitch. We out.